So, yesterday's game is done, is finished. Arsenal beat Newcastle 3-0 in a really comfortable performance. You have to say that Steve Bruce and Newcastle hardly ever showed any type of attacking minded threat to Arsenal. They hardly showed anything that we might have said, you know what, we've got to watch out for. But I think Arsenal did everything that they possibly can in order to be able to manage Steve Bruce's side. But some really good goals, two from Aubameyang and one from Bukayo Saka. Some great passing from Thomas Partey in that midfield. The way how it looks like he side foots the ball in the direction of Aubameyang for the first goal, who shimmies past the defender and takes a shot on his left foot. Especially when you look at the fact that he had the first chance earlier on in the first half, whereby it should have basically been a tap-in, and Aubameyang should have had really a hat-trick. But great play from Aubameyang to score the first goal. And then when looking at the second goal, ball comes in again from the left-hand side. Aubameyang passes it from, again, another Thomas Partey pass to that left-hand side. Aubameyang then just standard pass on to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe again on that left-hand side, shimmies it past the defender. Crosses it in nicely, crosses it in on the ground. Saka already making the intelligent run into the box, and Saka scores Arsenal's second goal, which was absolutely magnificent. The way how, again, Saka showing that he's more than a creator, but also a goal scorer. And then the third goal comes in from Cedric Soares there from the right side, who finally gets a start in the Premier League, performing really, really well with his defensive play, but also his attacking threat as well, and was able to basically allow Aubameyang to get a tap in. And that's the type of performances that we want to see, not just from Cedric Soares, but from the Arsenal team. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we dominated the game, and we were the rightful winners. But let's start looking long term now. And when I say long term, I am talking about where Arsenal are going to finish at the end of this season. So I started taking a look at some of the games that we've played so far, games that are coming up, my predictions for that, and where we could finish this season, as well as looking at where we finished last season and where other teams finished last season and how teams are performing this season. And I think I've got a pretty fair amount, as I would say, in terms of what Arsenal could pick up. And this is probably the most positive that I think Arsenal will do. So, and this is something that I will be sharing. What you could see is in our next 4 fixtures, or at least let's talk about, first of all, next 4 fixtures. We've got Southampton, Manchester United, Wolves and Aston Villa. I think we'll beat Southampton, 3 points there. Man United, they've been performing well this season. I mean, even though we beat them 1-0 earlier in the first half of the season, I think that will be a draw. Same thing goes with Wolves. I think that will also be a draw in that game. And I think against Aston Villa, that will be a draw as well. Now, those are just the first 4 games coming up, but really and truly, I think Arsenal, if they continue with playing the way how they've been playing, if there aren't any injuries, or at least major injuries in the squad, to be honest, Arsenal could have a pretty decent finish. I'm predicting, in terms of points gained so far for the rest of the season, I'm predicting that we could gain an additional 39 points. And I know people are saying that seems a lot, especially when we have 27 right now. But I do think that as long as we don't go through any seriously bad run of forms, and everybody plays to their potential, it can be done. The only teams that I'm predicting that we even remotely get a loss against is against Man City and Liverpool. I think that both of those sides are top sides. For me, I think Man City will win the league. I think Liverpool will be in the top 4 along with Spurs and Leicester, in my opinion. But I think if we was to get the 39 points along with the points that we have now, that would put us on 66. And even if you factor in, like, if that being the best possible amount of points total we can get, we might get a little bit less. But I think that's around the range that we could potentially get. And the reason why I say that is we finished last season on 54 points, which is probably a little bit disappointing than what we all would have thought, especially since on the first half of the season we didn't play really well when Unai Emery was in charge, and then when Arteta came in, things eventually changed. But I think if we maintain the consistency, and that is the key, we maintain consistency in the way how we play. We pray and hope that when it comes to injuries, that we don't get any, or get very little of them, or no kind of long-term injuries, then I feel that we can kind of get back into things. Now, I'm talking about 66 points, but you're probably asking, where does that fit in terms of league finish? Now, this season's a little bit different in terms of finishes, because last season there were clearly two teams that were ahead of everybody else, and then there was the rest. So last season 66 points would have gotten you top 4. I don't think that that's going to be the case this season. I believe that 66 points will be around 5th to 6th place, and that's at best. I think more likely or not, if we're not getting 66 and we get a little bit less than that, I think that Arsenal might finish around 6th or 7th place. So again, in and around the Europa League positions overall. But I think we can have a pretty decent performance going forward. I think if Aubameyang continues on the trajectory that he's been going, and it looks like we have our Aubameyang back again, which is great, because when we weren't doing well, I think we found a different way of playing with Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, and Lacazette, which is great. But we need our other players to step up. Aubameyang looks like he's coming back to form. Can the likes of Willian step up? Can he perform better? You know, that's a player that he's got Premier League experience. You would have just hoped that he would be able to form at the level that we've all seen him play at Chelsea. Pepe. Can Nicolas Pepe play to the level, or at least at a higher level than what he's shown? I don't know. But I'm willing to take the chance on Pepe to be able to improve. If we can get more players, more of our attacking players, to be really honest, playing either at the level that they should be, or playing at just at a higher level than what we might have expected. And then on top of that, when you think the fact that we're now in the January transfer window and potentially we might be bringing in some signings, that can also add to it. So I think top 4 is probably out of reach, but we could still have a strong finish to the season, as well as having a Europa League run. And let's not forget, we could go far in that competition. That also might even affect my prediction as well, because last season we did get knocked out of the Europa League in the last 32. So it's one that I would definitely say that it is possible for us to finish on that amount of points. And depending on how the second half of the season going, we just don't know as of yet, we could do something really special. In the Europa League, I don't think we could win it, if I'm going to be completely honest. If I'm going to take my Arsenal hat off, it's going to have to be a no for the Europa League. But we have the talent to be able to do it. Will we? Not sure. Nevertheless, I'll see you on my next video, which should be a link down below in the comments and in the description, as well as in the end screen, which you could see somewhere around here. But until then, see you on my next video.